Hey guys, I'm Allison, I'm the Pampered Wife. Today I am going to show you how I got this makeup look. Not so much because the makeup look is so amazing, but to talk through the products, what I think of them, how I like them. They're mostly Victoria Beckham products. I also have some Han, Evio, Lawless. Oh, I never even put on mascara, which we will remedy right now. I forgot to mention, so I'll mention it now. Victoria Beckham does have a mascara. She actually has two. One of them I have used, which is the Future Lash. It is $34. It has a curved wand or bristle part. It reminds me of Merit Beauty. It gives a very fluttery look. It's great for every day. It doesn't build up a whole lot, and I'm not a huge fan. I think that's a lot better. So this is actually the final look. I prefer a volumizing mascara that adds length. This one does not add length, but I don't think it's available anymore anyway. But now you get a better idea of the finished look. We've got eye products, we've got cheek products, we've got lip products from Victoria Beckham, as well as some other products, including the Rituel de Fille 3-drop weightless foundation that you'll see me apply and talk about. So let's go ahead and jump in. Hey guys, a few quick things. One, this video is not sponsored. I purchased everything myself. No part of the video is sponsored. Two, there's product links to everything I talk about in this video down in the description box. Three, there are also timestamps. So if there's a certain product you're interested in, you can just hold your cursor over the bottom of the video, scroll along, and you'll see a label showing which section of the video is about that product, and you can just click there and skip everything else. I already have my sunscreen on, so let's go ahead and start with the Rituel de Fille 3-drop weightless serum foundation. I have the shade Potion 130, which is for light medium shades with slightly gold to olive undertones, which I never thought of myself as. Here's the component. It is plastic, like all of Rituel de Fille's stuff. The packaging is peeling off. It's a plastic component. There's a button on the bottom. It says press me, and I'm just gonna dispense it right onto my face. I'm just gonna use 2 drops to start. I like to apply it with a brush, and I've got my BK Beauty 101 brush here. It's a great foundation brush. I like to drag it down to spread it around. It's described as medium coverage with a subtle luminosity. It is described as a lightweight oil. It's fragrance-free without any essential oils, but they do acknowledge you may smell the jojoba and marula oils. As far as the finish, I do believe it is a medium coverage. I use 2 drops instead of 3, so with 3 drops I would get more coverage, but I'm fine with this. As far as the texture, it does feel like a lightweight oil, but because it's mineral tinted, I feel like it has some grittiness to it. It doesn't just feel like an oil. It's nothing like that Kosas tinted oil that was very popular at one point and I absolutely hated. This feels weightless on the face. It's very thin. You don't notice it at all. Like, it has no weight to it. It is very light. Did I say it comes in 24 shades? They've done an excellent job with the shade range, and I mean the range, not just the number of shades, but from lightest to deepest. They really did an excellent job with the range. If you've watched my channel before, you probably know that Rituel de Fille is one of my favorite brands. I love almost everything they release, and this has been really nice. It definitely, to me, has a scent, so I was surprised to read that it's fragrance-free. I also don't know that I mentioned it is $42, which seems like a good deal or a good price because you get quite a lot of product. I don't need hardly any. I like the amount that the dropper dispenses. The top screws on, so it's good to travel with. 30 milliliters or 1 fluid ounce. So yeah, easy to travel with. Oh, so back to the scent. I really thought it was scented with frankincense or something. Frankincense. I do know that the original lab formula I was one of the testers for, and it definitely was fragranced. This is not, but it definitely has a scent, and I would have told you that's not marula oil because I know what that smells like, or jojoba, but apparently I'm wrong. So there you go. And it doesn't bother my allergies too, so that's really nice, even though I do smell something. I guess it's just the natural ingredients. I'm gonna go in quickly with my tried and true Jane Iredale concealer with SPF 30. It's the Enlighten Plus. This, on the other hand, has an abominable shade range. It's really terrible. I love that it has the SPF in it. I love that number 1, which is my shade, is a little bit peach, and it does some brightening. It does some concealing. It doesn't do a whole lot for texture, but I've had so many concealers that make my texture look worse that this actually is wonderful. I'm gonna try another concealer. I'd love to know, you guys, what you would want to see me try. I'm thinking of the Tower 28 or Iris and Romeo. They also have a concealer. So I'm thinking one of those two. I'd love for you to let me know in the comments section, like leave a comment which one you'd want to see me try, or if there's another one that you think I should try. As much as I love the SPF in this, like I said, the shade range is terrible, and I just think something could do even better with my texture, but I probably will still keep this one around or continue to buy this one. So let me know another concealer, because I'm really down to this one. I'm gonna go ahead and put on some of my Mara Sea Kelp Lip Balm. I talked about this stuff recently. It's not really occlusive, but it is moisturizing, which is really nice. It has a beautiful scent. It feels luxurious. I like to use something like this before I apply makeup or lip products because it doesn't have an occlusive, beeswaxy, lock in the moisture kind of thing. So when I put a lip product on in a few minutes or a little bit later, the lip product can still meld with this product. It's not just gonna sit on top of a lip balm. I feel like that was really hard for me to get out. All right, well, I had to take a phone call. I was gone for about 15 minutes, but now you can really see the finish of all this. I think the Rituel de Fille, while the color may be a little golden for me, the finish is really lovely. I think it really, really does have the finish they describe. It's not really luminous, it's more natural finish, and it's really nice. It's weightless. A little bit is coming off on my fingers, but not when I tap it. Just an FYI, it is an oil-based formula. And then also, here's the finish of the concealer. It is definitely settling into my wrinkles. Okay, let's move on. This is the Contour Stylus in the shade Travertine. It is an ivory shade metal bullet. The top just clicks on, and then the product comes up. This is $38. There are 4 shades in total. As I said, I have the shade Travertine. I think maybe I could have gone with Marble, but I'm gonna go ahead and show you the shade. It's described as buttery finish, flawlessly creamy with superb blendability. And this particular one is for fair to light skin tones, which is why I say maybe I could have gone 1 shade darker. Did I say it's $38? This one's vegan, gluten-free, made in Italy, which interestingly, when I went on the Victoria Beckham website, some of the products had information like that and some of them had none. So I found that interesting. Okay, but back to this. To me, it looks more like a bronzer color almost, but it is absolutely buttery, and I am so lightly touching it, it absolutely rubs out, although the line is still there. So now I'm smearing it, and I think that works better, although the line is still there. Now, the idea of this is that it's for contouring your nose, but also places like your cheeks and your jawline, under your lips. So I'm gonna go ahead and place this where I normally would. Just gonna draw a line there under my cheekbone. Now my face is wildly asymmetric in my opinion. This side is more carved out and this side is rounder. So that's not the product when you see what it looks like on each side. That's not the product, that's me. I don't typically contour my nose, maybe a little right here. But I guess I could do a teeny bit to show you. I'm just gonna draw very lightly, which it is so buttery and light. See, I didn't do it straight. Yeah, I'm just making it worse. That is not my forte. So, okay, I'm tapping that in. It went away pretty easily. Okay, I think I got that blended in. I'll put a little up here. I actually don't have a very big forehead, but you'd want to put it up there. Put a little here to make it look like I have less hooded eyes, and anywhere else, oh, here. So it does roll up and down very easily. Let's see how much is in here. Okay, that's quite a lot actually. Although it's so thin, I don't know how long it's gonna last, and it's so creamy. It just glides on so easily. It's a really, really nice texture. I like to use a brush for this. I just have a Real Techniques domed brush here, and I'm just gonna spread it around. This I'm more gonna pat in and then spread it. See, it disappears into almost nothing, which is fantastic, but it leaves that little bit of shadow there, which is exactly what I want. And again, this brush up towards the hairline, patting in, and then do a little light rubbing. And that is that. Now on my eyes, I will just tap it because I pretty much want it to stay there. Now just for shade's sake, I'm gonna go ahead and swatch the Westman Atelier bronzing stick, or sorry, contour stick in Biscuit. I would say texture-wise, these two are very similar. Easy to tell which is which. I thought Biscuit was gonna be so much cooler, because when I look at the two of them like this, Victoria Beckham's looks quite a bit warmer to me, but I guess it's just the domed top. It came with a domed top versus the flat Westman Atelier because I've used it all. But the shades are actually quite similar. Well, that is very surprising to me. All right, I guess just depending on what you want, if you want a fatter stick, I'm gonna go in now with my bronzer. I'm using the Han All Natural Bronzer. Actually, I think it's pronounced Han. You can see I've made quite a dent on this. I have the shade Malibu. It does come in 3 shades. They've changed the packaging. This one is described as a matte milk chocolate, and I'm just gonna go ahead and swatch it on my arm. It's definitely matte, no shimmer there. Yeah, you can see that's definitely warmer than the other two. I feel like these two have more red and this has more yellow. And to apply this, I'm gonna use my Jones Road bronzing brush. It's really great. This product has rice powder, organic cocoa powder, and cocoa butter in it. It blends out really easily. I'm just using it to add a little bit more warmth to my face, and the shade is just great for me in winter especially. It did add some bronze to me, but I don't think I look like overly sun-kissed or anything for this time of year, especially as I get the rest of my face on. I'm gonna go ahead now and put on my Evio Beauty Velvet Contour Stick. This is a multi-use product for cheeks and lips. I have the shade Be Anything, which is a terracotta, I would say. It's a really lovely color. It's not one I ever thought I would wear. And this is a really nice product, like I said. Actually, I'm gonna dab some on my lips. Just take it off my arm so you can see how you can shear that out. And I'm just picking up the product. I did not write down how many shades. Actually, it's $18 on sale right now on Pettivore. On Evio's website, it's $24. I believe they're in the process of changing the packaging. This is plastic, and maybe they're making it refillable, or I really don't know what, and maybe that's why it's on sale at Pettivore. This is described as a soft buildable color balm with a satin finish. And I would agree. I'm just going ahead and using this IT Cosmetics blush brush, tapping some on the end, and I'm gonna put that right in the front of my cheeks. You can see it really adds sort of a bronzy flush, but it's not shiny. I mean, I think you saw before I put this on, or you can see here on my arm, it's really not shiny or dewy, which is something I really like about it. It's really blendable. It does have hemp seed oil and omega-3, omega-6, vitamin F, which I don't even know what vitamin F does, but it's a call out and seems like a good thing. It's also vegan and cruelty-free. Blend it out nicely. You can also use your fingers. I think it's a really nice product and one that I've been leaning on heavily. I don't have any other blushes. This color is another reason. And I just really like that it's not a sheen. It's not matte, but it doesn't add any gloss to my skin, which you can't really tell in this light. So maybe I'll go in now with some powder. I'm gonna just powder some of the shiny spots on my face with the ILIA Soft Focus Finishing Powder. Another Real Techniques brush. This does have a bit of a scent. I don't know that it's scented, but it does smell really nice. And I really like this one for under the eyes. It's very finely milled. See that? It didn't add a white cast or anything, but it took the shine down immediately. I didn't use very much, and it's just really nice. Yet it doesn't look drying. So that's definitely a great finishing, great powder if you're looking for a powder. Now we're going to go in with some more Victoria Beckham beauty products. The brand is self-described as clean, and you can go on the website and see what ingredients they do include and what they exclude. I am not going to discuss that or talk about it here today, but I just thought you should know that they do have a cell rejuvenating priming moisturizer that I've heard amazing things about. It's in conjunction with Augustinus Bader. It's $100 for 30 milliliters and $150 for 50 milliliters, and I just don't think I'm going to be trying that. I don't use primers. I use my sunscreen as a primer. That's not something I'm going to be purchasing, but I'd love to know if you've tried it. Let me know in the comments. Also, one is tinted a golden shade and one is clear. I have two of the Longwear eyeshadow sticks, and I like that these are black versus the contour stick is cream. They do also have the Victoria Beckham VB there on the end. It's the same metal component, except when I take the top off the contour stick, I can completely retract the product into the canister, so the product isn't sticking out. But when I take the top off either of these, the product is sticking out. As you can see, this one definitely got banged up, has fallen apart. That's from me putting the top on, which I'm just gonna leave the top off so I don't risk doing that. So I have one metallic and one matte. We will start, actually let's start with the metallic. Actually, they don't call it metallic, they call it shimmer, and there are 5 shimmer shades and 5 matte shades. It's described as having skin-loving ingredients that calm and soothe the delicate eye area. That's for both the matte and the shimmer. I have the shade Oyster here, which is described as a shimmery pearl, which is not how I would describe it. To me, a shimmery pearl is more, I don't know, neutral. This almost looks like it has a greenish undertone to me, but it's definitely shimmery. It's really pretty, and maybe a yellow undertone. That's one thing that I found about all of Victoria Beckham's products, except one that I'll talk about in a minute, is they all lean yellow or towards, I think they're better for warmer skin tones. The reflection particles look silvery, but at the same time, it looks a little yellow. So I'm gonna hold off. I'm not sure if I'm gonna use this one today because I have something else I might use. But here is Pecan, which is described as a deep matte brown. And to me, that's very red. It is matte, but very red. I mean, there it is next to my terracotta red blush, and I think it's a reddish brown. I don't think it's a neutral brown at all, or just a deep brown at all. I think it's a reddish brown, a clay brown. I'm gonna go ahead and put this on one eye directly on and tap it out with my finger, and on the other eye, I will use a brush so you can see how that works out as well. This is described as a creamy tug-free application with 0 creasing, plus 8 hours of fade-proof wear. I do think it definitely has a creamy application. I do have older eyelid skin. I'm 50 years old, and you can see, oh, I meant to put this on with a brush. Eco Tools. You can see that it's spread out pretty easily on this eye using my finger. It looked maybe like there was tugging because of the extra skin, but there really wasn't. And then here, this is why I like to use a brush better, because there really is no tugging at all, and I just feel it's an easier application. But that just gives you an idea of how, and I'm gonna use the brush to even that out. That just gives you an idea of how incredibly creamy it is, that I can use a brush to spread it out. Of course, I could build up the pigment, and maybe I will in the outer corner. At this point, I'm just trying to get them to look even. I think they do. But you saw how easily that blended out. So easy. They do wear well, but I mean, it does fade some throughout the day. As far as the shimmery one, I really enjoy that one more. That's the one I reach for more because, again, this is very red. But that's just a tonal thing. That's just a shade issue. If she had some shades that I were drawn to, I mean, like she has a beautiful blue, a yellow, a pink. I'm not gonna wear those colors. She does have one that's called Trench that is a more skin tone color, but in all the pictures it looks really yellow, and I would just not get that one because I'm pretty sure it's a beige leaning yellow, and that's not what I'm looking for. So sadly for me, I don't love this product because of the color, but I do think it's an excellent formula. I've actually got some stick shadows here to compare them to. This is a Nude Sticks shadow. It's just a lot firmer, stiffer. It's not nearly as emollient or creamy, although the pigment is good and I do really enjoy this. This is the shade Smoke. I also have a Beauty Pie. The packaging fell apart, but this is Beige Bombshell. It does have a little bit of shimmer in it. I don't have trouble with the packaging, I guess because this one goes down a little further, so I've never poked the top of it, but I do definitely like this shade. And I'll put it here so you can see this is more of a champagne color next to the oyster. I would say this is a more compatible formula. It's not quite as creamy, but it shears out beautifully. And this would be the closest that I have in my collection to the Victoria Beckham, formula-wise. Next, let's go in with the Satin Kajal liner. It comes in 5 shades. I've got the shade Olive. It does say on here. One end is a smudger, one end is the actual crayon, which you can see I've sharpened, but I've never been able to get it like a point on it again because it started falling apart. That could be because of my sharpener, although I don't have this issue with other products, but you can see how very soft this is. And I will put that here. It's really a forest green kind of shade. I do like how it has the green here so you can tell it apart from other eyeliners, especially if you have a bunch of the Victoria Beckham eyeliners. It is actually pencil with a plastic top, but it's chic and nice, and the printing is gold. It goes along very well with the rest of her packaging. I like cohesion in products, and she definitely has that. So this is $32. Actually, there are 5 shimmer shades and 4 jewel shades, and that's it. These are vegan, gluten-free, and soy-free, I did note. And it's described as creamy, smudge-free eyeliner with vivid high-performance color with all-day wear. It's smudge-proof and waterproof. I got this because of all the hype. This is on so many people's favorites list. I'm just gonna go ahead and apply it as close as I can to the upper waterline without applying too much. Now I'm just smudging it to blend it into the upper eyelashes. Smudging it really does help for the color to come out. I think the green becomes much more obvious as I smudge it. So here's what I have to say about this product. I love the shade. I think it's beautiful on brown eyes. I love that it's really deep when you first draw it on, so it almost is black, but it definitely isn't. I do like that I can use the smudger, which is very comfortable and doesn't tug, by the way. It's a good smudger. To spread it out some. However, for me, I got it to put in the waterline, and what I find is it ends up under my lower lash line. Even when I put it on the upper lid, I definitely have to smudge it out to get it to last. If I leave it full color, it definitely more of it ends up underneath my eyes. I don't understand. I don't have oily lids. I don't have oily under eyes. I typically powder under my eyes. So seems to be a me issue. Everybody loves these things except me. I guess I'm special, but I'm giving you my personal experience. Just to recap, look how gorgeous that is. And I feel like this shade is a blue-green shade, which I absolutely love. It is beautiful to apply. It's creamy. It is a saturated color that you can blend out, but I'm not gonna try any other shades because I don't use this one. You can see I've hardly used it, and I just don't see me reaching for another shade. I think I will go in now with the Instant Brightening Waterline Pencil. This has definitely been a favorite for a long time. I'm gonna put this in my waterline where it will stay. This is a not quite white that neutralizes redness for a brighter, whiter look in seconds. It's $30, vegan, cruelty-free, soy-free. This one is made in the Czech Republic. Like I said, some of the things say where they're made, some don't. This one did say. It is a true pencil. It sharpens beautifully. I lean on this a lot. I do have the Kjær Weiss whitening pencil to compare it with, which is right here. This is the Kjær Weiss. This one's not quite very sharp, but let's go ahead and do a comparison. Here's the Kjær Weiss, and here is the Victoria Beckham. So you can hear my dog moaning, snorting. He wants dinner. So the Kjær Weiss is peachier, and the Victoria Beckham is, again, more yellow. Now I actually love this. I'm also gonna go ahead and put it in my inner corner and under my brow bone to do some brightening. And again, it's so creamy. It's not as soft and creamy as the Kajal eyeliners, but it is soft and creamy. I wanna make sure my finger's clean. So I am able just to tap it out. That makes my eyes look a little more awake and I look a little more alive, just like they say. It does wear a long time. It shocked me. I did a wear test and the Kjær Weiss actually wore longer than the Victoria Beckham. Take that for what it's worth. Everyone's different. Also, the website does note that this is safe for contact lenses, dermatologist and ophthalmologist tested. I've been very happy with that. Oh, another claim they make on the website is that it calms eye irritation. It's definitely not uncomfortable and I can have very easily irritated eyes, and this product has never irritated my eyes. I've always enjoyed using it, so that may be true. I can't say it's not. I just can't imagine it's true. All right, the reason why I did not use Oyster on my eyes, in addition to it not going well with this color at all, is because I have one of her lid lusters. True to all of her product, or at least the lipstick and her priming moisturizer, it's got the tortoise shell design on the lid. I believe this is glass packaging. I have the shade Chiffon, which is described as a reflective champagne with gold and multicolored pearl infused with clear quartz. So these are $36. There are 8 shades. It's described as a creamy, buildable application for a shimmering wash of pigment infused with real crystals. And they all do have different crystals in them if you read the description. Some have moonstone. Like I said, this one has clear quartz. These are also said to boost moisture, minimize redness, and because of the infused crystals, revitalize energy. So again, this is described as a champagne, and to me it looks quite golden. It does say that it has gold reflect as well as multicolor pearl. I'm just gonna take my finger. I would say it's like a hard cream. That's the best way to describe it. I do live in a very dry climate, so it could be drier here than I've seen others, but look how gorgeous shimmery that is. It is a metallic. It definitely is, and it gives you that wet look. But to me, that's not champagne. I mean, just going back to the Beauty Pie, to me, this is more of a champagne, and this is a golden champagne. You'll see when I put it on why I say that. And we are now taking this from a day look, or what could have been a day look, into a more night look. But I'll show you, you don't have to ham it up. You can just press it onto the lid for a minimal amount. And I feel like that's not overblown at all. My favorite way is to use my finger to apply it for the most impact, which I will now go in and do. I feel like this has quite a bit of separate shimmer particles, or it just at least looks that way on my eyelid. Maybe because I have more mature skin and drier eyelids, which again, I don't understand then why the eyeliner runs. But that is the case. I'm gonna go ahead and apply it on the other eye. I think I got them about equal. So the point I wanna make is that it definitely has some pigment to it. It's not just glitter. You can see pretty much all the glitter is off here, and that's the pigment that is left behind. Well, I guess not all the glitter. The other thing I want to point out about this is while it is creamy, like I said, it's a harder cream, I will get fallout from it as the day goes on. There will be little sparkles beneath my eyes. I'm totally fine with that. Sometimes it can irritate my eyes despite her claims of it being skin nourishing or whatever I read to you. However, it is probably the most comfortable formula that I've worn like this with any kind of shimmer like this, and it is really pretty. It does come with this lid, and then it is a screw top. I do want to compare this for you to the shadow stick though, so let me go back in. Get a good swirl. Here it is on my finger. I'm gonna put it right here. Oh my gosh. It's so pretty. Here's Oyster, the eyeshadow stick, which is called a shimmer as opposed to a metallic. And I'm just gonna draw that on. I feel like it's also quite metallic. Let me see if I cover my eye. There we go. It's also quite metallic, shiny, gives me that wet look. And the particles, the shimmer particles in there, the glitter, are much smaller, and I find this irritates my eyes less. So I actually reach for this a lot more than I do chiffon because I like the formula better. It's creamier, and the other reasons I already said about the particles being smaller and it irritating my eyes less. Plus, it's a color that I gravitate to more than this golden, more golden shade. Victoria Beckham does have a brow pencil. I did not get it. My favorite pencil was very inexpensive. It was the PYT Brow Pencil. I actually still have one right here. PYT has closed along with so many other clean beauty brands. My other favorite is Mineral Fusion, just very inexpensive. I don't have a lot of needs from an eyebrow pencil. This one is that dash shaped, which Victoria Beckham's is as well. She does have 6 shades and I'm sure it's lovely, but it is $34. I think the Mineral Fusion is around $16, and also right now I have quite a few brow products, so I'm going in with this real quick. The reason I want to go ahead and end with this is because I recently posted my video where I did BBL, which is a photo facial, and part of this eyebrow got burned off, so I just wanted to fill that in right there. This, however, is a sunspot that he missed. Of course, in his defense, the dermatologist's defense, he did think I was coming back for another treatment. Maybe he was going to get it then. Anyway, now I'm going in with the Lawless Brow Gel. It's actually called a brow wax in the shade light medium, and that's exactly what it is a brow wax, which I like. It gives a flexible hold, very little tint. Getting to a fun product, this is one that really lights me up, but I'm bummed, is the Victoria Beckham highlighter. This is called the Reflect Highlighter. It comes in 2 shades. I have the shade Pearl, and of course it has the beautiful packaging. It's gold, which even though at first I was like, this doesn't go with her other stuff, why didn't she make it this matte kind of ivory shade? That would have been nice to me just to be cohesive. It does at least match the writing on all of her products. So it has a bit of glam with this pattern. The top just comes right off. It's like a lipstick bullet, but the product does screw all the way down. This is what it looks like. It's $42. It is vegan and it is gluten-free. I'll just show you this on my finger. It melts to the touch. See, can you see how it was melting, how it's all shiny and wet there where I touched it? And here it is on my finger. And there actually is a base color to this, is what I'm trying to show you. It's actually a creamy shade. It's also beautiful. This is described as pearlescent pigments create a natural looking, dewy finish for a sheer luminous glow. I typically do apply it directly onto my skin, although I have it on my finger here, so maybe I'll do that on this side so you can see. On this side, I will apply it directly. Versus this side, which is more subtle. I'll just do a dab. I did think when I was applying this that it was taking off my makeup, but it actually isn't because of that creamy base shade. I figured that out. That's why it looked like it was taking it off, is because of the creamy base shade, but it actually wasn't taking it off. Now I do have a couple of highlighters to compare this to because it does have a pearly glow to it. It's also not sticky, and it will set down and just leave that pearlized look. I have a few highlighters to compare it to. First, the Victoria Beckham. Even in this light, it looks a little golden, which I don't think this is actually. Of course, the next one, or first one I thought of comparing it to, is another luxury beauty line, the Westman Atelier. This is the shade Nectar, which is quite a different shade, leaning a little peach, but on the skin, it's more sheer with a glassy finish. I think you can see 1, 2. The Westman Atelier is more, I guess, oily. It's more sheer, I feel like, and it leaves more of a glass skin finish and fades quicker throughout the day, whereas the Victoria Beckham does leave a pearlized glow on the cheek, which is closer to me to the finish. To the finish that I get with the Kjaer Weis highlighter, which I absolutely adore and seem to be missing. Here's a Rituel de Fille highlighter in Phosphine, which again, this one's quite pink. It is a drier cream product, drier than either of the two I've already showed you, but much wetter than the Kjaer Weis, which I think I had to declutter because it was old. There is that. You can see it sort of has a holographic shift to it and definitely adds some color. Then we've got the OG in Opal. This is one of their sculpted face sticks. I love OG. It's OG organic. Everything is certified organic. All the ingredients are natural. So there she is. Looks quite white or even yellowish. And then all the way up here is the Victoria Beckham, which looks quite yellow. I think for a final comparison, just because I absolutely love this, this is the Clover highlighter. It's Clove & Hallow's sister brand that Clove & Hallow closed to focus on. It's a drugstore price brand. It's even found in some drugstores. It comes in multiple shades. I have the shade Cleo. It's a cute little chunky thing in a plastic container. This is what it looks like. I absolutely love this. I'm just gonna put a stripe here because I'm running out of room at the bottom. You can see what that looks like. It's very on par with the shade of the Westman Atelier. So here's the Westman Atelier. It's really hard to see all these. Here's the Victoria Beckham, and then here is Cleo from Clover. You can see that shine from Cleo now, and you can see the shine from the others. So again, Victoria Beckham, Westman Atelier, Rituel de Fille, OG, and Clover. I hope that was helpful. I see that took up a lot of our time. Last but not least, I had to get a lip product. I'm not into lipsticks or tinted lip balms very much, so I didn't get either of those. So what I ended up getting was the Posh Gloss in the shade Bikini, iconic shade. It's a pinky beige. It's a glass bottle with the tortoise shell top. It is a flat petal applicator. It's not super flexible actually. It's $32, comes in 10 shades, and is described as a moisturizing, non-sticky finish with high shine. Here it is. I don't think it's extraordinarily high shine. This is sort of a Goldilocks formula, which is why people absolutely love it. Can't get enough of them. It's not thick and it's not sticky, but it does still feel moisturizing. It does still have a nice shine. It's a really pretty color. I'll go ahead and put the color on the back of my hand. This is one that actually is not cool, warm leaning. I don't see any yellow. It really is a pinky beige delivered on that, which really surprised me. My personal thoughts is I prefer a thicker, heavier lip gloss. I prefer the Lawless lip glosses. I recently bought one. I've got a bunch of new stuff actually that I want to open and share with you guys in a later video. This to me almost feels a little greasy. It always falls inside my lips and I end up wiping off the inside of my mouth. I don't have that problem with most lip glosses. I can think of one other, which I think was the Jones Road. But otherwise, it's not super long lasting, but it wears a nice amount of time, not the longest lasting, because again, it's not the thickest, grippiest, but it's a really nice formula and I could see why so many people love it. I'm gonna go ahead and take my hair down and then I will quickly go over my thoughts on just the Victoria Beckham products, because I see now this has been an extremely long video at least. So this is the finished look. To sum up, we have the contour stick, which I think is a lovely product if you don't go for a lot of contour, which I think is probably perfect for women our age. And if you do like to contour small spots like your nose, which I do not, it's perfect for that creamy, comfortable, easy to blend out, but I do definitely think it's for smaller areas. Personally, I prefer the Westman Atelier Contour Stick and Biscuit because I like the thicker, chunkier, big swipe of it, and it's just easier for me. Next we have the Eyeshadow Stick in Pecan. Again, a beautiful creamy formula. You can really build it up. You can really sheer it out. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous product, and if you are going to purchase an eyeshadow stick, I highly recommend this one. Just keep in mind the packaging issue of how I have ruined the tip of mine with taking the top on and off because the product does not roll all the way down. And the shades skew warm, or they're these bright flamboyant colors, which could be a whole lot of fun. Also, the shimmery versions like Oyster, love this one. I actually wear it frequently just on the eyelid, where else would you put it? It's a beautiful sort of one and done just to add a little brightening. But again, this one does not go all the way down, and it actually came a little damaged, which I'll insert a picture, but beautiful. It has smaller particles that tend to irritate my eyes less than other shimmery products. We also have the Satin Kajal liner, crowd favorite, pretty much on everyone's best eyeliner list. It is super silky, smooth, glides on, very easy to apply, a beautiful pigment that you can also sheer out, blend out. It has a great smudger on the end that is soft and non-irritating but firm enough to do the job. However, on me, even though the claims are waterproof and lasts all day, it does not last all day. So for me, this is unfortunately not one I recommend based on my experience, but based on the thousands of other users, seems like it should be something I would recommend. Now we have the Lid Lustre, a gorgeous product, super metallic. You can really build it up for a metallic shine, very easy to use, especially with fingers. All the products can be used with fingers. That's one thing that I really like about this line, in addition to the beautiful packaging and luxury feel, which you do pay for. This is not my favorite because it does have bigger chunks of glitter, and I find it a little more irritating to my eyes than I do the actual eyeshadow stick, but a highly recommended product, absolutely gorgeous in every way. And yeah, it did already start to flake down a little bit, which definitely happens more with this product than with the eyeshadow stick that's shimmery. The highlighter I think is great. I don't think you need to spend this much money to get such a highlighter. This is beautiful. I'm really glad I got it. I don't hear a lot of people talking about our highlighters, and I think it's really pretty. It lasts much longer than the Westman Atelier or any greasier formula. She's got 2 shades, which I don't know how well the other one works for darker skin, but this works beautifully, and I really, really like it. Finally, the lip gloss. It's very pretty. I love the shade I got. I do enjoy the packaging. I don't like the paddle. It's not flexible. It's pretty bland, boring, generic to me. It doesn't feel luxury when I put it on. I personally like a thicker formula, but I do feel like now that I've had it on, it's gotten shinier. Like the more it melded into my lips, the shinier it's gotten. So that's good to see, because I only see in the mirror typically when I first apply it. But this definitely is a Goldilocks formula that I see pleasing the vast majority of people, including me. I will still reach for this. I think it's a beautiful shade, and I do enjoy wearing it. It's just not my favorite formula because of the reasons I already said. Overall, I do think it's an excellent brand. They do claim they're clean. It's a high price point. Their formulas are really unique, so I'm not gonna say you can get similar products or dupes. I can't say that actually. These are unique formulas that do a beautiful job, and so as I'm talking myself through it, I do think it's worth the price if it's something you're interested in. That is my take. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave me a comment. Give it a thumbs up, give the video a thumbs up. If you made it this far, I'd love to have you subscribe. And as always, I hope you find some time to pamper yourself today. Bye.